And I remember sitting down and my wife looking at me and telling me, like, I don't even recognize who you are anymore, because of the fact that I wasn't around, because I was just working constantly. I was so wrapped up in making sure that the person I presented was somewhat perfect, so nobody could ever say anything to me. It wasn't until I sort of met you and got some guidance with you to figure out what kind of things we could put in place. When you told me about building a life you love, paid for by real estate, was like a light bulb turned off. It's like, oh, you can actually have everything you want within this business. I've never even asked myself that question. Like, what does the life look like? Because I'm working so hard to earn all this money. Like, what am I going to be doing with it? And so eventually I was able to pretty much retire my mom, grow the business to be able to have a buyer's agent and admin. I was able to take Fridays off. I was able to take most of my weekends off. It started changing how things were at home. Kids liked me more. They were happy I was around more. I was more peaceful. My wife noticed she didn't have to handle the mental load as much anymore. So it became a much more calm, stable environment. It just feels like a level of freedom that I never had prior to meeting you, to be honest. So I was really proud of the fact that I was able to not have to be working 24/7, 7 days a week, and still being able to run a business that makes money. I was really stoked about that.
Jimmy, good to see you, brother.
Good to see you too, man. Nice to be here.
How long have we known each other?
I think we met in 2018.
And it's 2026 when we filmed this.
Yeah.
Okay. 2026 now. Give me like a Cole's Notes. Catch me up.
It was really interesting. I joined real estate with my mom. She had a really good real estate business going on. Joined her. And, but you know, like a lot of real estate agents, a lot of teams, we had no structure, no systems, no nothing. We did it all our own. And then it wasn't until I sort of met you and got some guidance with you to figure out what kind of things we could put in place. And so eventually I was able to pretty much retire my mom, grow the business to be able to have some structure, some systems in terms of like a buyer's agent and admin. I was able to take some time off work and just get to a place where I felt I had a stable business that was operating without me constantly running Monday to Sunday, 9 to 24/7.
Yeah.
I was able to get there, so it's been a nice journey to sort of see where I was back then as a solo agent on a team and a family team to where I am today with sort of running my own team now.
So, are you running ragged?
No.
Tell me the peak. Where did you get to? Like, where did you get to where you're like, hell yeah?
Yeah. So during like 2021, 2022 would probably be like peak work-life balance.
Okay.
I was able to, with having a small team, I was able to work, Monday to Thursday within the daytime hours. I had the majority of my buyers working with an admin or working with a buyer's agent. I was able to take Fridays off. I was able to take most of my weekends off. I was able to be home for like dinner and bedtime with my kids more often. And that was during a market in 2021, 2022 here in Ottawa where like the real estate market was off the charts with the COVID real estate happening here. So I was really proud of the fact that I was able to not have to be working 24/7, 7 days a week, and still being able to run a business that makes money. I was really stoked about that.
It's amazing. I love that. I love the change from chasing the next deal. Like this industry is really pushes the GCI and every single person. You can sell more, work harder, grind, and then put shit ton on your plate and try to time block it, even though you're doing too much. Two, like you're actually making money weekends, evenings. Like it's funny, the goals, right? Like the goals shifted from chasing that deal or just providing financial security to actually building a life. So talk about that.
Yeah, when you told me about building a life you love, paid for by real estate, was like a light bulb turned off. It's like, oh shit, you can actually have everything you want within this business, within scale. So I was able to sort of tell myself, what does that even look like? I've never even asked myself that question. Like, what does the life look like? Because I'm working so hard to earn all this money. Like, what am I going to be doing with it? And so the first thing that came to mind was, I want to play more golf. And so that was something where I was like, okay, how do I build that into my day? I don't want to take away from family time. I have 2 young kids. So I was able to say, all right, well, I'm going to put that on Friday afternoons. Friday mornings, Friday afternoons, that's going to be my golf day. And I'm going to make sure I don't have to work on that day. So that was one of the pieces of building the life you love. And then the other one was I want to be home more often for my kids. I was working too much, as too many real estate agents do, and they're never around. So I wanted to make sure I was present and not just either gone during showings or even worse, home, but not actually there.
Yeah, man.
And just invisible to them.
How old are your kids?
They're 8 and 5.
Yeah. So like prime time, kid raising time.
Yeah.
And so what was it like before you scaled at home? How were you as a dad and a husband, if you're willing to share, before you kind of got to that level where you understand how to create that freedom in this business?
Yeah, before, it was not great.
I know. I was like, oh my God.
It's not great. The very first memory that comes up is I'm sitting down. Our kids are maybe, 3 and 6 months kind of thing. This is during the beginning of the COVID market. Things are getting a little crazy. And I hadn't been able to fully scale just yet. I was just near the beginning of it. And I remember sitting down and my wife looking at me and telling me, like, I don't even recognize who you are anymore because of the fact that I wasn't around and because I was just working constantly, burning both ends, right? Burning the candle at both ends.
Yeah.
And that's the type of pattern I was seeing for years. Even prior to kids, there were stories of my wife telling me that, during the spring markets, she would just anticipate to basically live a life on her own for the next 3 months because I would be gone in the morning and I wouldn't come home till 9 or 10 at night. And I was oblivious to the reality that the lifestyle I was thinking, hey, I'm working a lot. I'm working. I'm making money.
Yeah.
I'm providing. I'm building a future. And those are all good things that I'm happy I strived for. But at the same time, it had a cost that I don't think I was really aware of. And it's not until I finally got out of that cycle that I could see, oh, those are the realities of those choices.
It's huge. And now you're connected with your kids. Has your wife seen a change with the scale?
Yeah. So the biggest thing was I told her I'm going to be home more often and I'm going to be actually present while I'm there. So by scaling not only just the systems, but also finding a team member who can help out with a lot of the buyer clients, which is a significant amount of our time, right? It's always our evenings and weekends, which is part of the business. But by being okay giving up that portion of the income to be able to serve my life better, it started changing how things were at home. Kids liked me more. They were happy I was around more. I was more peaceful. My wife noticed she didn't have to handle the mental load as much anymore. She was able to ask me to do more things when I wasn't around as much. So it became a much more calm, stable environment that we were able to at least start from, right? There was no opportunity to build a foundation prior to be able to make something like that happen. We were just, picking at straws. Whereas once the scale hit, it was, I want to make more money scaling, sure. But my first priority was to make sure that the foundation of my family life was there, allowed me to sort of begin from a place of stability.
I actually like that you say, of course I want to make more money because we know that scale gives you time. And if you spent that time doing money-making activities, that's how people scale their business to like 1 million and above, whatever. The thing is though, the real reality is if you don't have that compass that says, no, I want to have a family, I want to be a good dad, and you want to do that, like it's almost like we can scale and still get in that trap still. And so I love that you say before focusing on like cranking up the revenue, you're like, I have time now to connect with my family. And so, but the thing is though, over the years, how many times have we seen, and I know you've coached with me for a long time, and it's like how you've seen agents when they scale, they actually get more time. But then what happens is because they have more time, the head's in better shape, they do better activities, they have a team. So they actually have scale and they actually have making more money with time with the family. And so it's not like you have to sacrifice money. You actually get to do both. Do you see that?
Yeah, well, I remember after one of the really good years of real estate, as the business was scaled in terms of having an admin. So at least I got some paperwork off, but I hadn't been able to scale a team member yet.
Yeah.
But in terms of sales, it was one of the better years I've ever had in terms of GCI. And I remember sitting down with a trainer in my brokerage and opening my book and saying, this is what I did last year. What can we talk? Let's talk about it. What are some strategies? What are some things we can do differently? The new year's coming up, whatever. And she looked at it and goes, hey, this is really great. You did a really good job. Let's try to make sure we have a better year coming up. And when I heard that from her, I remember looking at her just going, I don't want to repeat that ever again in my life. And she was a little taken aback by it, because the traditional way I imagine we're trained to do in real estate is always wanting more.
Yeah, 60 to 70,
you hit one level, go for
yeah.
the next level. I get this one award, now you got to strive to get the next one, regardless of what happens in your life or what the cost is of that. And it was at that point where it was like, I need to figure out a way where I want to earn more money. It's not like I want to take away from this.
Yeah.
I want to I want the business to serve my life and to keep growing while I'm not in it.
Yeah.
And it took me figuring out how to scale it a little bit more in terms of bringing on a team member, getting a bit more time freedom, and still working on the growth of the business. That gave me some of my life back.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. No, it's awesome, man. It's been really cool seeing that process. I've got to have a very close up look all the way through. I look back when you were, some of the calls we've done at the very beginning when you were with your mom.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've watched some of those.
Yeah. Night and day, right?
Don't even recognize that person.
Crazy.
Like they don't, I've seen a few of our intro calls. Like probably, I remember I have copies of the very first few, and I look at that, I'd call him a kid.
Yeah.
And I was like, he has no idea what's going on. He is oblivious.
Wow.
In a nice way, because at least it was, but he's oblivious to the realities of what was happening and also what he's walking into. I don't recognize that person anymore.
Wow. Well, on that note, I don't know if it was your first retreat. How many retreats have you been on?
12.
Yeah, so many. But I remember the one that's got to be one of the most significant is, I remember you're at the retreat, we got the mansion, we're all staying there. And I didn't know you as Jimmy. I know you as Jim. And I remember on one of our calls later on, you're like, my name's not Jimmy. No, sorry. On one of the calls, I know my name's not Jim. Kind of threw me back. Okay, well, who the hell's your name? Like, well, who is this guy? Like, is it John, Bob?
Right,
He's like, no, it's Jimmy. I just thought that it wouldn't be as professional being Jimmy as Jim. And man, did that shine a light on how you filtered your life. It wasn't about the name. It was that you were architecting yourself to fit in versus just being yourself. And in real estate, we don't have these conversations, right? But obviously we both know how much it affects everything. But I remember you at the retreat, and the Jim was amazingly talkative. He talked to everyone, but it was almost like just trying a little harder to be liked the whole time, right? And so I'd love to hear it's been a long time, but how do you see that story? Like,
it's weird looking back on it, to be honest. It feels a little almost silly thinking about it now, immature, childish in a way. But when I look back on that story of going from Jim professionally to eventually getting back to Jimmy, the crux of it was I wanted to be more professional. I needed to do something different in my real estate business to have more success. I didn't know what else to do. And from a person who was, either struggling with some confidence or some self-worth or whatever you want to attach to anyone who struggles in any industry, I somehow came up with the idea that when I go to open houses and I introduce myself as Jimmy, half the people say hi Jim back. So like, oh, maybe they're right, not me.
Crazy.
So I need to do something that's going to serve them better and maybe make them think I'm more professional and successful than I am. And somehow Jimmy was not that.
Yeah.
It's funny just even saying that out loud. Like it sounds.
You actually changed your name to fit in. And
yeah. So like I wanted to be someone different because I wanted to make sure that's a great point. I wanted to make sure I fit in to real estate because I wanted to be successful. And it felt like a struggle as the person who Jimmy was. So I completely changed my trade name. I introduced myself as Jim to everyone I knew. The only people who knew me as Jimmy was my family and friends. And It was a version of myself that I was trying to project to the world, thinking this is what they want. This is who they need. And this is the person who will lead me to having better success in business.
Yeah. It's like someone buying a car to fit in or wearing certain clothes to fit in. It's like you lose yourself. Remember when I told you, it's like, I think you should just go tell everyone, like announce it.
Yeah.
Like go online, say, just so you know, I'm Jimmy. Remember? And then I found out that you love playing piano. And I'm like, why are you not, and like you have this crazy passion for piano and you're really good at it. And you started playing online and letting everyone see you play. Was that like a moment?
Very much a moment. Yes. Yeah. Letting myself be exposed for something that I love doing, but I have credibility issues around. Letting people see me for what I like to do, even if it's not perfect, was a huge challenge because I was so wrapped up in making sure that the person I presented was somewhat perfect, so nobody could ever say anything to me, because that would challenge my assumptions of how good I was or how worthy I was, or it would hit all on my insecurities or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
So forcing me to get out there and do something that would naturally be imperfect and having the world not judge you, but actually show you that people gravitate toward that type of authenticity, and they'll show you the type of praise and response and enjoyment that I never would have thought I would have received. From that moment on, from you basically telling me like, you need to do this.
Yeah.
I've now posted way more of my musical ability online than I ever had in my prior life. So the point where I did a live video, so there's no even chances of making an edit.
It's going to have a mistake.
You just do it. And it still is nerve-wracking, as putting yourself on stage is nerve-wracking. But I love the feeling of doing something regardless of what other people are worried about thinking of me. That is a freeing. It's an element of, it just feels like a level of freedom that I never had prior to meeting you, to be honest.
It's so cool. Like, it's super cool to see. Every time you see you play piano, I kind of know the inside track. Everyone's like, oh yeah, he plays piano online and he sings online. And it's like, oh, you don't know.
Can I tell you a quick story about the live?
Yeah.
I recently played on Facebook Live.
Yeah.
And one of the songs was called Hard Times. It's a Ray Charles tune that I like. A little soulful blues.
I think I remember it.
So literally a day later, now I'm doing this for myself. I don't think about others, right? That's why I'm still sort of nervous doing it. A day later, I get a contact from someone I have on Facebook and says, I'm going through a hard time. And that song really hit me. And we got talking about what the hard time was, and they're going through some personal challenges with family and all that. And they're like, I didn't realize I needed a song like that because that really spoke to me.
Crazy.
And I never would have thought that what I am doing would have impact to other people like that, because I would always be in my own head about it. It would always be about me.
Yeah.
And having someone reach out, telling me my little song, my thing online.
You're imperfect.
My imperfect. They can go listen to Ray Charles do it. Why wouldn't they just do that?
True.
Had an impact on them because they're going through it right now. So they felt a little seen, a little heard.
Yeah.
A little more understood, maybe. It meant the world. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that I could have that kind of impact.
And imagine still hiding who you are to the world.
Right.
Like, that guy wouldn't have got impacted. You know what I mean? There's a cost.
That guy would have yearned for connection and impact, but been the first one to hide from trying to do anything to get it.
Amazing. So I'm curious, because one thing is, you've known our world forever, but to connect the dots between what we're talking about, the power of what we're talking about here, Jimmy to Jim, impact, playing piano online, like, how's this have anything to do with real estate and business? And it's like, we see it. Like, it's so obvious for us, but how do we explain that? Like, could you tell me, has that change in you affected your business? And is there any details on like how that
Yeah.
has affected you and the success, leadership, or whatever your business, by you being Jim, you being okay to be imperfect.
Well, I think it goes back to something you told me a long time ago, which was the two traits that people found in some of the most successful CEOs out there is authenticity and self-awareness. And so when I think about putting myself out there, playing piano, being more Jimmy than less Jim, I always think back to those two traits of I'm being more authentic, not only for myself, but for others. And I'm not hiding behind the things that I know that I could be conceived as imperfections. But that all that authenticity and self-awareness allows me to do is connect to others on a way that I wasn't able to before. And so by doing things like prioritizing golf, by doing things like prioritizing my musical ability, I'm deciding that I want to build a life and have impact, have purpose, things that I love to do that are only going to fill my bucket, which then allows me to go to the business and go, I'm coming at this business from a full bucket, from a place of I'm not being drained. I'm being filled up from other pursuits that I love doing. And one, people gravitate toward that. And two, it just makes me a better business owner. It makes me a better manager for my admin and my team. Like that alone allows me to give energy in my business because I'm getting it from the life that I want to live. And I wouldn't be doing that if you hadn't pushed me to do the things I love and to put myself out there within this context.
Love that, man. I love that. And it's like the heart of everything we do, right? It's the heart of everything. So what do you want to have in life, and try to figure out. Most people aren't even being themselves. You know what I mean? No one's even being themselves. And it's like this. I think about you going in. I can't remember the stories, but like you had new interactions with your clients, like when you're pricing a home, price reductions, like you would be different, right? Do you remember those? Because I can't remember. You mentioned a few of those things.
There's two things that are coming to mind. Is one, yes, I would show up differently because I'm more authentic. I'm not worried about making the mistake anymore. So my clients can feel that, right? There's more trust. There's more leadership in that regard. So I'm able to go there with, and give them, I can lead them in the right decision instead of worrying about always making a mistake. So there's that benefit of showing up more authentically. The other part is, as part of the systems and scaling, is building out a monthly newsletter. Part of that newsletter is from the desk of Jimmy. And I've done this newsletter for years straight, every month, consistent on it. And I've asked clients through feedback systems what they value most in that piece in the newsletter. And there's a bunch of other stuff. There's market news and team stuff. And the vast majority of clients, and I have a really solid open rate, much higher than the industry standard. And the vast majority have said the thing I go to first is what's in from the desk of Jimmy. Because that is always a personal piece about myself, about my life, about my family. And when I connected that to going, most clients value me more for who I am than who I am as a realtor, I leaned in toward being as authentic and available for them in that way. Because it's what people were looking for. Like it's what they've confirmed.
It's incredible, hey? How's that feel?
Surprising. It's not what I see in real estate. I see make more calls. I see door knock. I see call your past clients once a year. I see touch base with them. Do anything you can to make sure you build your sphere of influence. Call your expireds. Do all the sales tactics. Make your calls. Make your touches. Stop by with popcorn. All those things. But I was missing a piece of showing up as who you are is something that people will connect with. More so than all the other sales tactics that we put in place.
It's once you get that, you're just game over. Like that's the missing factor, right? All these things don't matter without having it plugged into a human connection. But you can't connect with them because you weren't connected to you.
Yeah.
So then it becomes all the different things you can do for them versus we're connected. I love Jimmy. It's a different relationship. That's amazing. It's such a great story. Such a great story. What are some of the systems that you're sit back and be like, these are game changers for your business?
So the number one system that comes up is the birthday system. That one is an absolute game changer in terms of client retention, but also in terms of learning how you're building a business. You're not just a real estate agent. That was the one that anyone can send clients something on their birthday. Any realtor can figure that out.
Yeah.
But to figure out a scaled system that allows you to find a way to send something consistently, and 99% of it is done every month, and all you have to do is sign off on the execution of it, and your team, your admin handles it all, and so you don't miss a birthday, you don't miss a potential date. That practice of learning what a scaled system is in a real estate business that doesn't require me to do it, time block, have it in the calendar.
Yeah.
That having both pieces of that is the number one scaled business system that I think hits so many right levels. And if I had to start over and I had no other systems happening, it'd be the first one I would put in.
Boom.
And I wouldn't care about the other ones because it's something that happens every year. It's easy, it's scalable, it's cost effective. I wouldn't miss it.
Amazing. Yeah. Like, what other system has this? Here's a post. Hey, Jimmy just gave me fresh cooked cookies on the doorstep this morning. And then the next comment is, my agent never did that.
Right.
How many times we see that, right? It's just
tons.
what happens.
Yeah.
And it's like, then you think about people bragging about their birthday system. I mean, to make anyone look negative, but they're kind of bullshit systems. It's like, imagine an email, happy birthday, Jimmy. But I always look at it going, what if that was me sending it to my wife?
Yeah.
My wife would be like, what the hell's this? So like the question is, how much do we actually care? It's like, do we care at an email level or do we care at that? And then to systemize it, because you can't miss it.
Well, what I loved is what you taught is within the, hey, this is the system, but also this is the reason for the system. What I love is when you get in with a client and it's you as the realtor and their loved ones are the only ones who sent them a gift on their birthday. Talk about retention. Talk about connection.
Limited edition list.
Yeah.
Like no one gets on that list.
Yeah.
And like how many gifts have I got this year on my birthday? Like we're old now. It's like we don't get gifts. Like my kids, my family. And then it's like after that, what do you get?
Yeah.
So it's like this area nobody plays in. Nobody plays in. I think just too busy. People would like to, but they're too busy or they don't think of retention versus they think of new sales all the time. They're constantly chasing new sales, right?
Yeah. The other system would be the red carpet closings. That one is a no-brainer. But it's also the hardest one to start because talk about like putting myself out there playing piano or doing anything like that. Man.
50% of the people are so scared of this system. They was like, I don't do that. It's stupid.
It's cheesy.
Man, did we get resistance in our business? Hey, like in the coaching side, it's like, holy crap. 50% is like, I don't do that.
Yep. I was one of them.
Were you really?
I
didn't know.
I loved the idea, and I wanted to execute it, but I remember thinking like, I don't know if I can do this.
Look like an idiot.
Yeah. I bought the stanchions. I bought the carpet. I was all in because I realized the value of doing something different. I remember having conversations with my mom, and my mom was a great real estate agent. She was like a fairy godmother. Talk about trying to fill those shoes. And then the thing though that in her world was it was a bit more traditional real estate. So she did really well with client connection and really well with, hey, when she met them, whether it was a listing presentation or a buyer consult, to the time they signed firm on and waived their final conditions, she was amazing, right? And she has such high referrals. People loved her. But I always was confused with why we didn't do anything after the final signing was done to the time they move in. And I didn't know any better. And there was no training that was available that I found. So I felt like there was a missing piece of client experience in our business. And when you came along and showed me this red carpet system at closing, two things that I instantly thought of. One, nobody does this in Ontario.
Nobody. Yeah.
Not only the red carpet, nobody gives keys to their clients at closing because it is logistically challenging. It takes time and effort to organize, to pick up the keys from your lawyer, to get to the house, to organize with your client. There are tons of reasons why we would avoid that and just make it easy for, hey,
just go to the lockbox.
Just go to lockbox,
Get
go
it.
to your lawyers. It's not my problem. I'm dealing with other stuff now. But the moment I had a reason to do it, which was not only the red carpet for them, but also the 90-day magnet, which was a follow-up system that built out of that. It was like a bonus.
Yeah.
I remember thinking, this is amazing. I can go there, have a great client experience, get the neighbors talking, get them talking, increase my referral rate from them because no one else was doing this. Oh, and then by the way, I naturally have a system that in 90 days, I can send them something that I have not, because I've been doing this now for the red carpet system for 7-8 years now. I've walked into clients' homes and that photo is literally on their fridge.
Years later.
Yeah. And the only other thing on their fridge is their kids' paintings.
Crazy.
And my picture.
Love that. I love that.
I'm like humbled and honored that it's there.
How much is it? How much does this cost?
Yeah.
It's like
$5.
$5.
$5.
I know. It's like, that's so crazy. And well, let's add a little bit of admin. So let's say $30.
Okay. Sure.
You know what I mean? Like it's like $20. If all the admin can do the entire system in an hour.
So it's like texting the photo.
So maybe $6 all in.
Yeah. Getting the delivery, mailing it, stamp. Done.
Yeah. Yeah. But the picture's key. And it's not about you.
No.
Yeah, it's about them.
The first time I did it, I remember thinking to myself, I look like an idiot.
For sure.
Why am I doing this? They're going to laugh at me. They're going to think this is unprofessional. That was probably the biggest thing.
Back to the Jimmy thing. Interesting, right?
Yes. And because they're not going to understand why this is not what you pay and hire a real estate agent for. But the moment I rolled it out and I did my best to try and not show my feelings of what it might look like, they weren't the biggest supporters of it, but they thought, oh, this is sort of funny. They weren't really sure what to do. I didn't really know what to do, but we got through it, took the photo. And in the end, just the fact that I had a reason to be there on closing, which I had in my previous, 6-7 years of real estate, I had never met a client on closing at their house. So that alone was an increase in the client experience that I fully contribute to a higher rate of referrals in my business today.
And so they were like, not bad. You know what I find? I find that when someone is nervous themselves, the red carpet doesn't hit as strong. When you walk in and go, hold on, guys, just wait, we're rolling this out. And there's a different energy. So have you seen a change on when you roll out the carpet on how they respond to you?
Yeah. Yeah. Now that I'm like the leader of that and I get there and you can tell they're a little hesitant, whether it's because they're like, what is this? They're always unsure, but also asking someone to be in a photo puts them in a spot where we didn't ask for that.
Yeah.
But with my enthusiasm and enjoyment of it, because it's celebrating the entire relationship, right? It's celebrating the process from when we met them for buying to the challenges that you go through when you're in the buying process. So now all of a sudden, this is one of the first moments, the first moment they get to walk into their house as the homeowner. It's a huge deal.
Yeah.
And so to make sure that they feel celebrated, and I vocalize that to them now. So they realize why I'm doing it. They realize I'm not doing it as a billboard for myself.
Exactly.
I'm telling them I'm doing this because you guys deserve to be celebrated. This is a big day.
Love it.
If you only move 4 to 5 times in your life, you're only getting 4 to 5 times of these days in your entire lifetime. Let's do something that makes it memorable.
Now you own it. And then they're pretty excited.
They get over, the worst I've had is someone who doesn't smile.
Yeah.
Right? It's like the husband's like, this is sort of foolish. His wife is loving it. It's like, this is great. Like, thanks so much for thinking of us. It's silly, but it's fun.
It's fun when they post the picture out after though.
Yeah, that one's always a fun one.
Yeah.
That one is always a fun one.
So Jimmy, remember the time where, so COVID was coming up and your assistant quit and you kind of broke the rules because you don't ever have a business without someone to help you. Like, you know that. You coach it, you know it, but you did it and you didn't rehire. Tell that story and what happened.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a lot of people that would go through that going, I'm not going to hire again or.
Yeah. Yeah. A few things. One, I recently transitioned with assistants just recently and I instantly hired right away. There was no gap of losses or of coverage. So just to give you context of like what's happened now to compare to who I was 5-6 years ago. So it was during COVID. The assistant I had prior, just, hard working conditions with COVID. So it just made sense. She didn't want to come back. And instead of getting the ad up on Indeed right away, I hesitated. Because one, I was not sure what COVID would look like. So there were some practical financial pieces.
Yep.
However, it wasn't like it was completely dead.
Yeah, there was still stuff to do.
I had stuff to do. And just the act of hiring someone, even for a part-time basis, a couple hours a week here and there, I froze. I didn't make the decision. I thought, I'll just handle it on my own until I need it. I'll make that call down the road.
The cost of inaction.
So the cost of inaction, I actually have an exact number.
Crazy.
That makes sense. And it's probably more with the variables. So during that fall of when COVID was just starting, I launched 5 listings on one day.
All by yourself?
All by myself.
Okay.
No admin. I had buyers continually, but 5 listings.
So buyers calling you. Okay.
All on one day. Now, I talked to an agent that same day because he called about the listing. And I told him offhand, oh yeah, I just launched this and 4 others. And he goes, oh, congratulations.
Yeah,
that
amazing.
Must be great. I remember telling him on the phone, I don't want to ever do this again. And he was like, what are you talking about? Why would you not? That's successful. What is success?
You'll be put on a stage for that.
Yeah. Hall of Fame. One of the listings I made a mistake on, naturally. When you have no other help, you're doing all by yourself. I made a mistake on that ended up costing me a check of $5,000. So at the end of closing, the mistake came out. It was fully my fault. And I just wrote a check to the sellers and goes, here you go. This is what fixes it. And that cut my commissions significantly out. So let alone lost business opportunity that could have come up from
You
that.
weren't calling leads.
Nothing.
Like none. You weren't doing aftercare. Like the whole machine.
Everything just turned off.
So $5,000. Now let's imagine how much would an assistant would have cost you for a part-time assistant during the times of what you have going on there?
Yeah, it was like $500 a week, like less.
So for that $5,000 would have got you almost 3 months of actual help.
Yeah.
Instead, you save the money, cost $5,000, and what you don't have is the unrealized business. I remember 6 months you went, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't until the following late winter.
Because then you were too busy or whatever. You did the thing that we always tell,
yep.
People just oh, I'll just figure it out later. People do it all the time. I think I'm good now. I'm just going to kind of get a few things in place. I'm like, we're just you're nuts. Get a helper, get it in place. The unrealized money is going to be crazy. The cost of inaction is going to be crazy. But sometimes we need to learn kind of the hard way.
I remember early on in my real estate career, the idea of an assistant only was capable at a certain level of GCI because the assistant was full-time.
Yeah, they did. It's weird, right? Yeah.
And so I thought, all right, I need to wait until I make into the mid 6 figures to be able to have
20, 30 deals and let's get an assistant, right? That's people always do it.
And you flipped the script. You told me, no, just hire someone part-time. Even if it's a project hire, get one person, someone to do a couple hours a week, just start small. You can manage.
We have to shift your brain from worker to business owner. I didn't even care about the worker. That's our hack, right? I just got to get you to go, oh, that was easy. That's all. Yeah. I don't even care if it works. I need you to change your belief system. Be like, for $200, I got my CRM organized. Oh, how long has it been sitting? 10 years? Yeah, $200. Get someone organized your CRM. Then they're like, oh, yeah, that's scale. And that's the first lesson, right? They had to figure that out.
I sat down with someone during COVID after this hiring fiasco that I had. And I was suggesting to them, hey, have you ever thought about hiring someone? And they looked at me as why would I pay someone to do something that I can do myself?
Yeah. And
I remember going that is the same thing I used to say.
Yeah. You can't, you cannot scale without this.
Yeah.
It's probably the number one thing. You can't scale. You can't, it's just the only way is to buy time.
Yeah.
But the ROI is wild. $1,000 a month can get you an extra deal.
Yeah.
Just look at the numbers, right?
Yeah.
It's 10 to 20 grand on $1,000. If we just said put $1,000 in, we'll give you 20 back or 10 back, you would just be, how many $1,000 bills can I put in so I can get as much as I can, right? If we were to go back to Jimmy, let's say 8-10 years ago, heading into real estate, what advice would you give him?
If I met myself 8-10 years ago, I would tell him for real estate, hire a coach, get structure, get systems. You can't do it all on your own. You can't continue wearing all the hats and build the life that you're aiming to get. The money that you can earn by working your ass off can be great, but it's not going to give you what you're hoping for, because eventually you run out of time. And the cost of waiting to hire someone who can help you with building your business and a little bit of guiding you in your life, the cost is unbelievably high.
Is there anything else you want to say? Anything else you want to say before we wrap it up?
What coaching has given me is, it's hard to put a price on it. Because it sounds weird to tie it into a business thing. Because yes, the business is there. Yes, that has to be there. The money, you want your business to grow. But I never in a million years would have suspected or believed that somehow focusing on my business to grow and to scale and do all those good things would impact my life as much as it did. I would have thought that's separate. And that is a big surprise. One that I'm very thankful for. Because I don't know who I'd be today without it.
That's amazing. Oh, Jimmy, I'll give you a hug. Yeah, probably, man. Thanks for having me too. You do long hugs, okay?